Hello everybody, I hope that you're all doing well. So we're gonna switch it up a little bit today and we are going to do a reading for you and your person to see what's going on here. So the way that I'm going to do this is kind of similar to the general relationship reading that I offer on the website. For those of you that you've purchased that before, you kind of already know like the format of this and the breakdown. I do want to say a couple things prefacing before we get into the reading. So I like to see this reading as, in this moment when you are watching it, what's going on within your energy, what's going on within the other person's energy. So just know that if there's anything that's coming up, it doesn't mean it's going to stay like that or anything like that. It's just right now a snapshot of exactly what's going on within the energy, and know that even a moment from now it can change. So just keep that in mind. And so yeah. So I'm going to use two different decks for this. This is the deck that I'm going to use for the other person. The other thing too is that the first pile that we do, I'm going to say is your energy, and the second pile that we do is going to be the other person's energy, but know that it can possibly be reversed. So take what I'm describing and see what goes where, okay? If I'm saying this pile is you, but it sounds like the other person's energy, then switch it over, okay? All right, what deck are we gonna use for you guys, actually? Let's use this one. So we're gonna do your energy first and see. I'm gonna pull a couple cards. We'll see what's going on. Keep in mind too that these are general readings. If I'm pulling on this energy and it doesn't sound like yours and it doesn't sound like the other person's, then this may not be the reading for you right now in this moment. So just keep that in mind too. Have to just say it because these are general readings. All right, so your energy first. Let's see what's going on. All right, we got the Five of Swords starting out first. When we have Five of Swords, you can be feeling a bit held up here. You can feel like something is really maybe stopping you from going in a direction that you want to be going in. See how it looks like there's something here? This can mean like a decision has to be made in order for you to move forward, or you even just feel like something is sort of stopping you right now. See how the bird looks like they can't really move through? That can be the way that you're feeling right now. Like you have something going on, that maybe something going on in your head right now, or just something that's happening. This can even be held back by a choice that hasn't been made yet. That can also be there, or even something that hasn't been totally seen yet. That can also be something that's going on with that too. Whatever it is, this feels like being held up to me. And this may not be the most comfortable position for you to be in, but there's stuff that has to be worked through. For some of you too, communication can be involved in this, and that can be part of the holdup as well. Feel like you don't really know what's going to happen, and you can feel like you have to kind of just bear witness to whatever it's going to be. We have the Wheel of Fortune coming out next. So maybe you feel like you're stopped until something is going on. Wheel of Fortune is connected with events, the unfolding of things, the divine path that things are going to take. Maybe you feel like something's in the process of happening right now and you can't really move yet. This may feel like it's not totally up to you though. That Five of Swords is feeling like, well, if I had it my way, this is how things would be going and this is what I would be doing. But the Wheel of Fortune is like, well, I have cosmic plans here and this is actually what's going to be happening. But you can feel like you're kind of at the mercy of that. That's what this is feeling like to me. So you're seeing that, you feel like you're kind of held up here, and then you're just waiting to see which way the dice are gonna fall. Wheel of Fortune is about chance as well. I feel like this is a big question mark. Like, you know something's gonna be happening. You even know that something's in the process of happening, but you don't really know. You don't really know what it's going to land on at this point. So this can feel just like a big unknown. It's kind of reminding me of the Moon card a little bit. There can also be something going on transit-wise that you feel impacted by right now too. That can be something that's impacting this. Maybe that's also something that can help you if you're looking at the transits and what's going on. That can maybe give you some insight into the details that are unfolding. We have Jupiter next to Pluto here. Yeah, I do feel overall like something is not fully moving yet at this point. Feels like it's kind of... Something feels like it's out of your control, like it's kind of up to chance as well with what's going to happen and how things are going to be working out with the Wheel of Fortune, and you kind of have to wait. It's like something hasn't... If you roll the dice and it hasn't landed on one of the faces yet, you don't know what's going to be happening. I feel like that part of things hasn't happened yet, so you don't know. So you're kind of stuck in a little bit of a limbo right now. And then we have Judgment coming out after. So I do think that you're going to get actually a breakdown of what's happening here, but there's something very particular about the timing within this situation where something hasn't happened yet, so you can't know yet at this point. And there's kind of just like this waiting, because we also have Four of Swords here too, and this is when things are kind of still and they can't really move. It's like if the other person has not moved the chess piece yet, like they're gonna have to move the chess piece, and then you're gonna have to assess what's going on and then figure out what your next move is. But it kind of feels like the ball can be in the court of the other person, and so maybe you're just looking at this and being like, well, I did my turn, I'm just like waiting for them to take their turn and then things can continue. But it feels like we don't really know what's going to be happening at this point, so you can feel like you can't really assess what to do yet. But it can be something where, I mean, with Wheel of Fortune and with Judgment, you can be like, they could move there or they could move over here, or then this could happen. Like maybe there's a lot of focus that you're putting into this and trying to really look into the potentials of what's going on. Because with the Wheel of Fortune connected with Jupiter, that can be like the endless possibilities of things. And then with Judgment being connected with Pluto, this is us wanting to investigate. I want to know what's going on. I want to peek inside of there. I want to get as much information as I can from this. So that can be something that you're looking into. Having Four of Swords can be reminding you not to let this disturb your peace of mind, and that if you need to ground, that can be helpful, and make sure that you're doing this from a centered space, okay? So even though it's great if you want to be investigating this and looking into that, that's fine, but don't do it to the point where it's like messing with your energy. So it feels like it's important to do this from a centered space, okay? And I'm seeing the High Priestess on the bottom of the deck too, so maybe you can be like looking at tarot readings, or again, you can be looking at the astrology or just like something esoteric to give you more information about this. You can be meditating, you can be doing your own tarot readings, you can be doing some type of divination, whatever it is. You can just be in a spot where it's like you want to get as much information as possible. When we put a lot of focus on something and we are pushing a lot of our agenda there, it can sometimes distort the energy a little bit. So just make sure that you're doing this from a level place, and that will allow you to get the most clear information, okay? All right. Now we're gonna switch over and look at the other person's energy and see what's going on with them. I want to say this again within your energy. I feel like you have to wait until something happens to be able to make any move here. Like you have to wait for the other player to make their move. Feels like a little bit unpredictable to me. And maybe you're still working out what all of that's going to mean. Okay, so we're going to switch over to the other person's energy now. Seeing something about the color purple here. Okay, we have 10 of Pentacles. We have Hanged Man. All right. So 10 of Pentacles is connected with the more long-term goals that we have, and what I think 10 of Pentacles would be the epitome of, if I connected with all of the most valuable and important things, all of the stuff that holds weight for me and all of the things that I want in my life, like that really is the 10 of Pentacles. So it can be stuff with family, it can be stuff with our jobs, it can be things with finances, like whatever our idea of stability is within our life and of connecting with those bigger dreams and goals that we have, that is the 10 of Pentacles. And it can be also structures within our lives as well. Having Hanged Man there, this person can be going through a major restructuring. That also means too that, so 10 of Pentacles is the stuff that we say like this is valuable and this is important, okay? When we have Hanged Man next to it, that means that we can be rethinking that entirely. So this can be somebody saying like, this is the goal that I've been working on all my life, or for a long time I've been feeling like this was so important to me, but then having the Hanged Man there can be some type of release that this person is going through. There can be some type of rearranging, there can be a reorientation, an understanding that's different to them, and really has to do with their core values and about what they're connecting with and striving to connect with within their life. So if they were to look at their life and say that's picture perfect, everything's just as it should be, what they used to think that was versus what it's morphing into now or evolving into now, it's going through a shift. So again, this can be somebody that's like, at the end of the day, if I have like a car that drives like 400 miles per hour, I'm going to be so happy with that. And that's the most important thing to me. Okay. Like this was what mattered to them before. Now with the Hanged Man there, it says like that's changing for them. So what was like most important to them before, where they were like, that's the ideal, that's the dream life. This is going through a shift right now. And this can be them going through a spiritual awakening of sorts as well, where there's a falling off of the materialism that doesn't have spiritual depth to it. So they're in the process of going through that right now. We're going to pull 2 more cards. Hanged Man can speak about a release, but only because how we once saw things shifts in a way that it looks different to us. And that's why. So it starts with something going on a spiritual and cognitive level, and then our lives change as it's affected by the butterfly effect of that. Okay, this can definitely be on the emotional front. I feel like this person is going through something. I'm seeing Neptune and seeing both Queen of Cups there. Like this person is going definitely through something on a spiritual level where Neptune is about our ideals and about what we on the deepest levels want to integrate and merge with. So there can be some type of shift that's moving more to focus on an internal level for this person. Where maybe they're looking at something and saying, I don't know what all of that means to me, because I'm starting to see it a little bit differently than I had been before. It's like when you're only connected to certain chakra systems and then you bump into the next one, so you're like activating an additional one. There may be something going on within the heart chakra for this person where they're activating their emotional center now, and they can be realizing things and seeing things through a lens that they didn't really have, they weren't accessing before. But now it's time, so this is happening for them. And there can be some really big realizations that they are concluding. I'm seeing this person be deep in thought about a lot of things. And it feels too like they feel like they have a lot on their plate as well. But there's a lot of emotional reflection that's happening. When we have 10 of Pentacles and we have Hanged Man, it's kind of like getting to a goal and thinking it's the be-all end-all, and then something happening in that moment where we're just going to call it an awakening. It's kind of like a shift in consciousness, okay? So somebody's working towards a goal and it's like the be-all end-all, and then they get to that point where they've accomplished something, and then there's this shift in consciousness that's taking place, and then everything else kind of rearranges as a butterfly effect of that, and that's currently what this person is going through. And this is something deeply spiritual, emotional, and psychological that they're moving through right now, but they're in kind of a hermit period, essentially moving through this and separating fact from fiction here. And this can even be stuff that one has been believing their entire life and then gets to a point where it's like, this is a misconception of some sort, and then they have to like break that down. So I'm seeing them go through a bit of a drawn out process that's associated with this. And this can be like letting go of old ideals and old goals that no longer hold that same meaning for one anymore, or developing a new understanding of what's meaningful now at this period within their, at this time within their lives. And having Queen of Cups be the only court card that's coming out, and it's coming out for their energy, this can be also about how they relate emotionally and energetically to things. And Neptune is a very spiritual energy, so this can mean that there's a really big focus on their spiritual world and what's going on with that, and how that merges with their material world. And having Hermit there can be finding answers about the relationship between all of these things to get a better understanding of it, and to cleanse out any misconceptions, anything that's not the truth, anything that's not the essence of the truth for them. So that's what they're in the process of doing. And that means too that there can be these releases that they're going through as well. So yeah, that's what's happening within their energy. I will say too, having the 10 of Wands on the bottom of the deck for them, this can be a time that feels really challenging for them. It can be a time that feels really difficult for them. They can feel like they have a lot going on. They can feel like kind of burdened by what's happening too. You know, like sometimes we don't really choose to go through a spiritual awakening. Well, our egos don't anyway, and it can feel like it's kind of thrust upon us, and then we just have to figure it out and deal with it. And so they can just feel kind of overwhelmed right now with everything, okay? And I think that I said for your energy, I'm seeing High Priestess on the bottom of the deck. So I just say you can be like inquisitive, you can be curious, you can be really tuning into the energy, what's going on, wanting to understand it, wanting to know more, and also having to be accepting of the timeline and the flow of things. Because with the Wheel of Fortune, we can't rush that. The gates open when the gates open, and the gates stay closed when the gates stay closed. This is the divine time frame of things. So all we can do is look into it and try to understand it better and keep our hearts open while doing so. And allow for the process to unfold. Because this can even be challenging on a psychological level for you with Jupiter and Pluto there. And it can be a time where you can understand deeper patterns for yourself too. And not only for yourself, but also within the world and how those things work as well. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.